If you just arrived, please make sure that you're working on your review. We're going to take about 3 more minutes on the review. It is on the screen. If you do not have a packet in front of you, please take out a clean sheet of paper and put pencil to paper. If one of the, never mind.
Have fun, babe.
Mix Macaulay, if you can put yourself on mute, please. If you've completed your review, you need to do try twos. Remember, we always do try twos on all of our math.
I can't zoom in anymore. That's all I can zoom in. Perfect.
I love how many of us seem extremely focused today, getting to work right away. It's exactly what we want to see. Okay, we've got about 1 more minute. Finishing up 1 more minute.
As a reminder, you must have your camera on and facing it. I know about one scholar who can't do that. Everybody else, you're responsible for making sure your camera's on. Great job.
Good morning, good morning. I'm looking around and I already see that Harvard is going for Scholar of the Block by making sure that her face is in screen, her paper and pencil can be seen, and that she is hard at work. I am looking for scholars like Phoebe who are showing that they are sitting up straight and getting hard at work. I love all of us putting our pencils to paper, but I am not a huge fan of those who decide to put their body to the pillow. Let's not lie down. Let's sit up. Let's not look tired. Let's look professional. My eyes are on you. Your eyes are on your paper.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Silently, wherever you are, just put your pencil down, and then put your pencil down, and then put your eyes on the camera. Ethan, can you look at me for a second? Okay. Are you, it looks like you're signed in twice. Once as Ethan. Oh, no, it got changed. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. Make sure, remember our expectations, that you are sitting up tall, that the camera is where I can see your face. Make sure that when I am teaching, you are not moving around, you are not playing, and that your hands are still. You must have a packet. Mr. Feeney, you can stop sharing now. Thank you so much. You must have a packet or a piece of paper with you. If you do not have a piece of paper, sorry, if you do not have a packet, then please just make sure you have a piece of paper and something to write with, just like yesterday. So Asira, I see your hands moving a lot. I want those to be still. Thank you very much. If you are, sorry, I apologize. If you are, just like yesterday, if you do not have a packet, that is okay. Just please make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pencil. I don't want to say it as many times as we had to say it yesterday. It's okay. Just like yesterday, we will put the packets up on the screen and you will be set to go. First of all, I just want to shout out Phoebe. She looks excellent with her hands in Scholar, ready to learn. Asira is also clocked in, ready to go. So this morning, we are going to continue talking about volume. Jacob, can you unmute yourself, please? Jacob, what is the definition of volume?
The definition of volume is the length times the height of a cube or the square.
Okay, sort of. That's the formula for volume. But what is the definition? We'll come back to the formula in a second. Just what is volume? What are we trying to measure?
The capacity.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The capacity.
The capacity. Great. That's excellent vocabulary, Jacob. So that's a +5 for you for sure. Mr. Feeney, can you keep track of points during blocks that I'm teaching? I'm keeping track of it and the others. Great. Thank you so much. Jacob, that's exactly right. Capacity is a fancy way of saying how much can be filled inside of an object. So when Itzel, you look amazing. Great job. When we are measuring volume, we're always looking for how much can we fill up inside. Now, typically, we're going to measure that with cubic units. So remember when we practice with our tens cubes at school, like filling spaces, that's because we have to measure it with a cube. We can't measure it with a square because a square is flat. Only a cube can actually fill up space. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue using that same formula we've used before, length times width times height. Jacob, thank you for saying that. But we're also going to show you a different formula that we can use. I see a lot of scholars moving around right now. Let's make sure to just take a moment to get settled. So fix your headphones, make sure you've got your paper, and then we want to stop moving and we want to sit extremely still so we can focus, just like Itzel, just like Eugenia. Looks like Ryan is in the zone. Isaiah is ready to go. So yesterday we talked about taking length times width to make one layer and then multiplying that times the height, or how many layers there are, to figure out the volume. And that's what you got to practice in your review. I'm going to go over a review really quickly and I want you to check your own answers. So for number 1, the number of cubes in one layer was 20. And the volume of the whole object was 60. For number 2, the cubes in one layer was 24. And the volume in the whole object was 96. And then for number 3, the cubes in one layer was 12. And the volume of the whole object was 24. Rama, we're going to keep moving. Just check your answers as we move on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my screen just like I did yesterday, and we are going to talk through some of the different ways that we can measure volume. So I've got 2 different scenarios here. So I've got first what we did yesterday with that base layer and then the number of layers. And then I've got one that just has the length, the width, and the height. Now, Jacob already told us that the formula for volume, just seeing check your screen, the formula for volume is length times width, times width times height. And we see over here that we have the length of 3 times the width of 2 times the height of 6. Strong silent hands, or you can use the raise your hand feature. Who knows what the volume is of the object over here? Lasana, what is the volume of this object?
The volume is
Let's walk it through. 3 times 2 is, Lasana?
6,
And then 6 times 6 is?
36.
Great. So the volume here is 36. Okay, that's the formula we already knew. Length times width times height. But today I want to focus on a new formula. And we actually did this work yesterday. Lasana, you can mute yourself. We actually did this work yesterday with the base layer. So strong silent hands, or use the raise your hand feature. How many cubic units are in this base layer right here? Count it out if you need to. John Mark, how many cubic units are in this base layer?
How many cubic units are there in this?
The number of cubic units is?
The number of cubic units is 6.
6. Very good. So we could count those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, we always count on the top because that's the easiest way to count it. Or we could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 times 2 equals 6. So up here we have a base layer of 6. And then we know that the number of layers is what? John Mark, go ahead.
The number of layers.
I wrote it for you right here. John Mark, just read it for me. I wrote it right here. Number of layers is?
The number of layers is 6.
Is 6. Great. So if the base layer is 6 and the number of layers is 6, then Jaden, John Mark, you can mute yourself now. Thank you. Then Jaden Cologne, what would the volume be of this object?
The volume of this object would be it would be 36.
It also be 36 because we have the base layer and then we multiply it times the number of layers. So I want to show you guys, Jaden, you can mute yourself now. Thank you. I want to show you guys a brand new formula we can use. Over here we had the formula of length times width times height to show us capacity. But over here, we can do something else. Instead, we can do base times height. Base is when we multiply the length times the width, just like we did yesterday. So base equals length times width. And then we took that base layer and we multiplied it times height, or the number of layers that are in the object. Okay, so now that we know those two different formulas, we are going to continue to practice problems just like we have before. So let's check for understanding. What is one of the formulas that we can use to calculate volume? Jade and Calhoun, sorry.
What we can do is we can do base times height, which is basically length times width, then you times the height.
Perfect, Jaden, that was such an excellent explanation. I'm gonna go ahead and give you +2 for that. Great job. Okay, and then our other normal formula that we can use, the one that we were already using a lot. Syra, what's that formula for the volume here? We did base times height. What's our other formula?
Length times width times height.
Perfect. Okay, you can go ahead and mute yourself. So now let's jump into some practice problems with these two formulas. Everybody turn to your guided practice. If you do not have it, remember you can just use a sheet of paper. I will keep this on the screen in front of you. And let's go ahead and multiply it out. So the first problem I'm just going to do really quickly for myself. So I see that the question says, find the volume of the rectangular prism. I know when I'm looking for volume, just like Jacob taught us this morning, that means I'm looking for the capacity of an object or how much can be filled inside. So here it's just asking me to fill in what I already know. So I know the length, that's going to be 5 feet. The width is 3 feet and the height is 2 feet. It gives me the formula here that it wants me to use of volume equaling length times width times height. So all I have to do is fill in those numbers. 5 times 3 times 2, and then I can solve. Jason, what is 5 times 3?
5 times 3 is 15.
Is 15. I'm just going to mark that up here. And then you can mute yourself. Rivka, what is 15 times 2? Oh, we can't hear you again. Can you try unplugging like you did yesterday? Rivka? Okay, I think she's having some trouble with her volume. We'll figure that out for her. Let's see. Let's go with Krista. Make sure I can see your face. Krista, what is 15 times 2?
30.
It is 30. Very good. And then I know that it's going to be cubic feet because we always measure volume in cubic units because it's filling up this space. So now that you've seen me solve one of those, this is something we've already been practicing. Let's jump over into we do number 2. Everybody pick up your pencil. We do number 2. What is the volume of the box Mr. Leaf used on Sunday to pack books in? Krista, you can unmute, or you can mute yourself if you haven't already. Great. So the first thing I need to do is I need to think about what this question is asking me. All right, let me find somebody who looks like they're sitting up real tall. Chelsea, what is this question asking me to do?
Question asking you to figure out the volume of the box Mr. Leaf used.
Great. He's asking me to figure out the volume of the box that he has here. So I know I'm looking for volume. What information do I need in order to solve for volume? Mariama from Bryan College.
The information you need is length and the width and the height.
Length, width, height. Okay, everybody write length, width, height on your paper and then go ahead and fill those in. What are those numbers? Take 10 seconds. I should see all pencils to paper, just filling in length and width and height. Keenan, what is the length, width, and height in this object?
The length is 6. The width is
3, and the height is 8.
Great. The length is 6, the width is 3, and the height is 8. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you had that. All right, I see Rashida giving me thumbs up. Azrala's giving me thumbs up. Keenan, you can go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so now that we know the length, the width, and the height, what is the formula that we need to use? Kareem, what's the formula we use? Oh, remember to take your headphones out. Okay, go. Mm-hmm.
The formula that we use is length times width times height.
Great. Can you tell me what those numbers are? 6 times?
6 times 3 times 8.
Great. Everybody go ahead and solve. This one's going to require some paperwork. I need to check my answer. Strong silent hands as soon as you have your answer. Remember, you can raise your hand on the on your screen or by actually physically raising your hand. Xavier, what answer did you get for that?
The answer I got for that is 144 cubic inches.
Evaluate. I see Randy showing me he agrees. Jasleen is showing agree. All right, awesome. You guys are doing an excellent job. The correct answer is 144 inches cubed. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue calculating volumes, specifically of rectangular prisms. Remember, volume means the capacity of an object or how much it can fill in. Brandon, please put your eyes on the screen. And the two formulas we use for that, Brandon, what is one of the formulas we can use? Can't hear you. Can you unplug your headphones?
Width times height.
Great. Can you say it again? I think we missed part of it.
Times width times height.
Excellent, Brandon. You can plug that back in and mute yourself. And what is the other formula that we can use? Let me get somebody I haven't called on yet. Ryan, do you remember the other formula we can use?
Base times width. Base times height.
Great job. Base times height. Remember, the base is that first layer, and then the height is the number of layers that get stacked on top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and jump into our breakout rooms, and you are going to work on your independent practice with your group. Give me just a moment to send those out. Remember, my group, go ahead and start working. I will join you in just one moment. If you are still in the group, it's because you either checked out a little late or you came a little late. So I will get you put in a group. Give me just a moment. Ms. Good Emilio, do you want to be in a group? I can't hear you. Okay, great. All right, great. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good lesson.
Thank you. All right, scholars. So welcome to volume. So it's pretty much the same thing, right? All we're doing is length times width times height, or we're switching it up and doing base times height when it doesn't give us the length and the width. So I'm going to go ahead and put problems on the board. If you have it in front of you, I want you to go ahead and start number 1, and we'll go over it. Once we go over number 1, then I'll release you to do it. Share my screen with you right now. So everybody go ahead and solve this either in your packet or in a piece of paper. I'm going to do those little sounds right now. Are you okay? Greg, I want to see pencil to paper. I see Ryan working urgently. Brandon and Kareem are focused. Just number 1, Lasana. Great question. Just do number 1. Thumbs up when you have number 1 finished. Greg is done. Kareem, you're frozen. If you're having trouble, please chat me. Ryan, are you done? Great, Ryan's done. Lasana's done. Lasana, turn on your camera, please. I don't know where everybody in our group is this morning. I'm gonna have to check in with them. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and go over the answer. So the length is 13, the width is 9, the height is 2, and then when you multiply that out, the answer is 234. All right, awesome. So if you guys want to go ahead and continue working on the independent practice, here is number 2. If somebody can chat me when you guys are finished number 2, and we will switch to number 3. Mariama, make sure that you are sitting up and I can see your face. Have to be a good mathematician. Thank you very, very much, Mariama. That's +2 to you for fixing it. Okay, are we ready for number 3? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for number 3. Great. Okay, it looks like most of us are, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it. Okay, now these are pretty interesting problems because on these, sometimes they'll give us the length and the width and the height, or they'll give me the base and they'll give me the height, and you've got to figure out which numbers you need to use to solve. So let's do number 4 together. Right here, I see it gives me the base, the length, and the height. And so I've got to think to myself, do I have all of the information for one of the formulas? You don't have to have information for both formulas, you just need it for one formula. So do I have all the information for one formula? Ryan's saying yes. I need to see everybody else. Krista, you are not going to get attendance for this block if I cannot see your face. Please prop the screen differently so I can see your face. Still can't see it. Great, thank you. Nope, can't see it. Prop it up against something if you have to. Much better, awesome. Okay. So, which formula do I have numbers for? Ryan, please unmute yourself and tell me which formula I should use for number 4.
You should use base times height.
Evaluate. Amadou, waiting for your evaluation. He agrees.
Okay.
Brandon, waiting on evaluation. Great, Ryan's exactly right. I need base times height. So even though I have all these numbers, it's kind of like tricky information that's there in a word problem. I'm only going to use the ones for my formula. So I'm going to use 20 for the base, and I'm going to use 6 for the height. And then I would solve it just like normal. So on each of these problems, you need to figure out which formula you're going to use, and then you need to solve. Go. There you go. Probably see it a little better. Go ahead and do all. Actually, let's skip number 3 for now. Let's just do number 4 and number 4, 5, and 6. Brandon, unmute yourself and talk to me.
Different pencil.
Sorry, what?
Can I go get a different pencil?
Yes, thank you for asking permission. Go ahead. Mariama, I need to see your face. Maybe turn the phone so it's propped differently. I want you to be comfortable, but I want you to be able to work. Greg, thumbs up. Are you okay? Great, keep it up. If you finished all of these, you can give me a thumbs up or you can chat me. Amadou, you're done? Okay. Looks like everybody else is still working, Amadou. Amadou, do you have the packet in front of you? Or are you doing a piece of paper? Do you have the packet?
Yeah.
Great, then you can go ahead and keep working. Brian, are you still working? Okay. Great job. I see a lot of us really focused, really clocked in. Kareem, have you finished all these problems? Okay, do you have the packet with you? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, give me just one more minute. Everybody hold up on your hands what number you're on. Lasana, can you hold up on your hands what number you're on? Unmute yourself for a second, Lasana. What number are you on?
I already finished.
Great, perfect. Keep working, Ryan. Okay, great. So if you are still working on those problems, that's okay. We're going to jump back in. Actually, we're just going to go over the answers. Okay, so let's go to number 2. All right, we're going to try something, okay? We're going to try to do a poll. Actually, let's do this, okay? This is number, hold up, 1 finger for A, 2 fingers for B. Ryan, you need to make sure you're listening. 3 fingers for C and 4 fingers for D, okay? So on number 2, everybody flip back to number 2. Do you think it is 1 finger for A, 2 fingers for B, 3 fingers for C, or 4 fingers for D? Show me on your screen. A, B, C, or D. So Lasana, do you think the answer is A, B, C, or D on number 2? Lasana, do you think the answer is A, B, C, or D on number 2? Hi, Miss Montgomery. I wasn't sure where you wanted to be. The correct answer to number 2 is D. D. All right, let's quickly go over the other answers and then we're going to rejoin the group. For number, okay, everybody flip to number 4. Number 4, the correct answer is 600. Number 5, the correct answer is 12. And number 6, the correct answer is 324. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 4, 5, and 6 correct. Krista, is that a question or a thumbs up? Did you get all of them correct, Krista?
Yeah.
Great job. I love it. Good job. Okay. So, big takeaway for today. Remember that the formula for volume can be either length times width times height, which is what we were already doing. Oh, sorry, that's too zoomed in. Great. Length times width times height, which is what we were already doing, or we can use our new formula of base times height, which is just the base layer times the number of layers. We're going to rejoin our group, and I'm going to ask people to share out those formulas, so make sure you're prepared in case I ask you to share out.
Morning.
Morning. Hi. Morning, Mr. Newman.
Hello.
My battery's about to die. Hi.
All right, great guys. Remember, we're not
Let's
unmuting
charge
ourselves.
it.
Pause. Everyone make sure that we're muted. I love that we're saying good morning. However, we don't mute and unmute without a teacher's permission. It looks like we're still waiting on a couple people. If you're already done, you can continue working on your independent practice and doing your try-twos until we get further instructions.
Sorry, I was trying to talk with mute on. I apologize. Great. Okay, so as we've discussed today, the big things that we want to remember are that there are two formulas that we can use for volume. Christian, Valdivieso, what is one of the formulas we can use for volume?
Base times height.
Base times height. Very good. What is the other formula that we can use for volume? Ari, please unmute yourself and tell us the other formula.
The other one is length times width times height.
Very good. That's exactly correct. All right, great job. Tonight for math homework, you're going to flip over in the packet to the same packet to your homework, which should be right after your independent practice. If you do not have a packet, that's okay. I'm going to be messaging everybody with copies of the packet on Jupiter. And if your parents want me to send them an email, they can also send me the email address for that. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to move into our break. Do not leave yet. If you are in my group, so that means you go into my advisory group during breakout rooms, you need to stay here for just 1 minute. Everybody else, we are going to return for TA at 10:10, but it is likely that your teacher will be calling you sometime this morning, so please be prepared for that.
But before we go, she's trying to make sure that I can't give you all that sweet, sweet Scholar of the Block. The good news is that the Scholar of the Block never took his eyes off the screen. He always flipped the page when it was necessary, and he was focused the entire time. It's Jason. Jason, welcome to the Scholar of the Block.
Great job,
are
Jason.
the model of the day.
Congratulations.
Michael, it is now a check. We have told you several times to stop unmuting yourself. Great. So what we're going to do now is we are going to move into that break time. If you are in Miss Phelps' group, you need to stay where you are. Don't move. If you are in Miss McCauley's group, Miss Kazinas's group, Mrs. Kroll's group, or Mr. Feeney's group, you may leave and take your break. Thank you very much. We will see you at 10:10 for TA.